right into the wackadoodle table topics. We're going to start off, well, let me reiterate. A homophone is a word that may be spelled differently, but sounds the same as another word. So I'm going to give you a word, and you're just going to go with it. You can run with it, you can walk with it, you can just stand there and talk about it. Just go with it. So I'm just going to call a name out and a word. So here we go. We're going to start off with Daniel Day Wallace. Are you okay? You need some water?
What's the word of it?
I don't know. It is ant.
My aunt was my favorite relative. Many of you know that I tell a joke too. But I want to be dead serious with you. How many of you believe in miracles?
Oh, yeah.
I want to tell you one thing.
You are one.
I want to tell you one of my miracles. That you don't understand that it's an actual condition, bad jokelism. And I was on my way to a Bad Jokelist Anonymous meeting. It was hosted by Jordan Temperature at the Seminole State Nervous Hospital. And on my way, I was there to better myself. I fell into an upholstery machine. And I turned around and went home because I came out fully recovered.
Remember, you're going to be voting for two at the end of this, so thank you, Daniel Day Wallace. Next is Roy Shear.
Yes.
And your word, I'm going to come back to you, just takes a little bit of time to get up.
No, I'm standing in the chair. Go ahead.
You're already standing? All right, good. Your word is Barry.
Barry.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Why do we get a subject like Barry? Barry. Burry. Let me get this one out of the way. My neighbor has a dog named Doodle. Barks at night. Barks all night, keeps me awake. I've hired Carmelo to whack him. Burry. How do you say it? Burry or Barry? Burry, okay, Burry.
I said Barry.
I told somebody, they said, how's your day today? I said, it's terrific. It's true, I drive by 2 funerals while I was on the way to this meeting. And I wasn't on the bullet. Very, quite contrary. How's your garden going? Very. How's my time there?
You're up.
All right.
Oh, we'll be all right. I'm still on this. I'm going to talk about a good life.
There it is.
Long-time Toastmaster, Robert Leedy. Your word is beat. Beat? Yep.
Good morning, Winter Park Toastmasters.
Good
morning.
It's a privilege to come back. Thank you for that table topic. Beets. I like beets. Vegetable. I like to make borscht. I know we're going with the other homophone, right? I like to make borscht. I like to cook for the family. And I was curious about the word today, wackadoodle. I saw that the words are sort of in alphabetical order from week to week you have, but you skipped the V.
Oh.
Right? I don't know if there's a reason for that, but I thought that's not appropriate.
Good job.
Anyway, so we shouldn't be saying wackadoodle, we should be saying something with the letter B, but we're not doing that. But the word beat is a common word. It's not really the greatest thing to talk about all the time. But, you know, I can tell you that I like to make borscht. And that's about all I have to say today.
The word is bear. Toastmaster John Costa.
There.
Good morning, Winter Park Toastmasters.
Morning.
Good morning, John. I've been hearing about this extremely successful and sort of wackadoodle club for a long time now. Finally get a chance to come here and talk to you about bears. Bear. Just a bear. One bear. We live in the Bear area. And I can imagine what picture just went up. I've never seen a bear with clothing on it. And so that's probably the type of bear I should be talking about. They have them as periodic guests in our garage. They enjoy the dog food that we've got on the shelves. Bears are part of our society. And maybe I'll bring one to the next cookie.
There you go.
The next word is flee from Lydia W.
Flee.
Wide open.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Should I flee now? Back to people?
Yeah, good. Take bear.
Flee that you pick out of a dog? Or is it that I flew, but she flees and I fly? So let me try. Flee. It's that kind of instant when you have such energy and you either run away or you stand up and fight. Flee. Or it's the kind of fleas that you don't want to get near because they bite. And so, flee. I think I'm going to flee very soon. And so then I think about, maybe I shall think about all of the ways I can think about fleas or not. I'm stuck. But at least the flea's not stuck on me.
Next up is courts. Kathy, look at it. Courts.
Toastmasters. Shake off the rust.
Of course, I would get the course word. Of course it is. That is a wackadoodle of a topic. Let me see. Somebody was wondering why the word wackadoodle. I did choose that word because it's wackadoodle. Why not? You know. Anyway, and it doesn't sound like a coarse word because it's somebody who could be eccentric.
Court.
Oh, quartz. Like a quartz one? Like a
You just run with it. One of these.
So see, actually, you can hear quartz and quartz. Wow, that's even more wackadoodle that I didn't even hear that, the difference between quartz and quartz. Well, teaching kids science all the time, we taught them about quartz rocks, and we also filled containers, so we could also fill a quart of rocks in there. So that's pretty much of my wackadoodle story for teaching quartz.
Next is red. Stephen Mandel, Toastmaster.
We all knew that if Tim Linger was doing table topics, it would be wackadoodle. What's black and white and red all over? Books.
Newspaper.
Or as my daughter would say, a zebra who's been hunted. Taken over my tendency for dad jokes and already moved on to the point where she's sick of mine. But that's the best part of working with puns and dad jokes is everybody groans at you while you do them. I think that
No looking. No looking.
But I think what I enjoy about dad jokes is that they do hit something primal either way. You're gonna laugh or you're gonna groan, but they get a reaction. Thank you very much.
There you go.
Next, Toastmaster Stephen.
Sail.
S-A-L-E, sail, like sailboat. We know we went through this wackadoodle storm, but I think the most wackadoodle people are weathermen. Because I was supposed to go to a computer conference right before the storm came, and I started watching all of the tracks of the storm, and it was not gonna come through Central Florida. Absolutely not gonna come through Central Florida. It was gonna go to Tampa, it was gonna go to somewhere else. So I told my wife, I said, I really need to go to this conference. And she's like, the storm's coming. I said, it's not gonna come here. It's gonna go to Tampa, it's gonna go somewhere else. So I leave the day before I was gonna leave because they were gonna close the airport. And of course, what happens? The storm comes right through here. And I won't say I've been in the doghouse since then. But if this is the doghouse right here, I'm probably right over here. I will crawl my way back to the doghouse and eventually make my way back to my lovely wife, who is trying to forgive me for leaving during a Category 4 hurricane.
Son, Toastmaster Charles
Okenwooey.
Okenwooey. Toastmaster Charles Okenwooey. The word son.
We look up in the
You got this,
sky
you got this. Come on.
and see. That's okay, just tell us your name again.
So I went down to Sarasota.
Yeah.
And I went down and I saw a few people walking around. A lot of them were bathing in the sun. Good. And one thing I noticed about the sand was that it was shining. And I never really seen that before, even though I lived here most of my life.
Good, keep going there. Doing well.
And as I was walking down the beach, I saw my uncles and my aunts. They were also happy with me.
Good one. Hang in there, you're gonna get to the red light.
And as I was walking down the beach, I saw my uncle with his son. He told me he wanted to play a game. And we both played beach volleyball. It was a very nice time.
Very nice.
Sweet.
There you go.
Tim Weiss. Not to be confused with Tim Taylor. Tim Weiss, Toastmaster.
Tom Weiss.
Tom Weiss.
Come on, get it together.
I should be confused with Tom.
In my defense, I've known Tom for 5 years. Without my glasses, it looks like Tim.
All right.
I'm going with it. All right, Toastmaster Tom, your word is flower.
At least he didn't say why. Thank you, Mr. Tabletop Master. Flower. I would like to bloom like a flower on this day as before you to talk about the subject at hand. But also, I do like to cook. And flowers involved in making all sorts of breads. I particularly like to make pizza doughs. I love making pizzas. And how about I just linger around here for a little bit?
Sure.
I can linger here on the middle of this floor talking all I want, or I could be a linger and come up with all sorts of wackadoodle topics for us to speak on this morning. Because what's a more exciting word to talk about? To linger around?
Yeah.
To party like a linger? Rumor has it you do like to party like a linger around here. Sometimes the parties are raging flames. Not to bring up the sort of subject, those of you who don't know, he had quite the conflagration at his home. That's the topic for another story.
Toastmaster ATM tie patent. Grease. Grease.
Grease. Word you put on your hair this
That's the
morning.
word.
Grease is what Roy Shearer said that I put on my hair this morning. If I was to do so, it would be only to keep what I currently have, because it's waning rapidly. I had grease that came up. I love chili, and so I actually made a double batch of it just the other day, yesterday. And you pour off the grease so that it doesn't have that yucky flavor in your mouth and give you an upset stomach. And then you can add all the other ingredients that are required. And I like to spice mine up a little bit. So I put a little bit of that Taco Bell hot sauce, and I chop up, believe it or not, little tiny carrots. And that way, it gives just a little bit of sweetness to the spiciness. So when you're digesting it, you're not going to be feeling the after effects that sometimes heavy chili gives to you. Fellow Toastmasters, don't get wackadoodle over this ingredient, but I do believe in timetable.
Yes, sir. And the lucky contestant is Toastmaster Paola Soriano.
Paola.
Paola.
Did I not say that? Sorry, Tim Tom. The word is hair.
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 Good morning, Toastmasters.
Good morning.
The word is hair. Ever since I was a kid, I've been terrified to get my hair cut. And a lot of that has to do with my mom chasing me down in our house with a pair of scissors and insisting that she cut our hair at that age. So that's when my first trauma for cutting my hair started. The next came when my mom insisted that we go to a friend, since I refused to get my hair cut from her, and the friend was a hairstylist. I said that I wanted layers. And in Spanish, layers is capas, but she thought I meant gradas, which is steps. So steps is, so her definition of layers was just cutting my hair right in half and saying that was layers. So that's my story about hair.
That concludes my table topics for today. DTM Toastmaster, DTM Timer Kamala